Hi, this video is about AI solutions for business. I thought this Dilbert cartoon was pretty relevant. My name is David Hood, and I'm CEO of 42 Robots AI, where we help organizations implement AI. And so part of why this is relevant is, I know it's kind of silly, but if your business does not work on building AI solutions custom to your organization, then your competitors do, they will crush you. The value of AI, while there's a lot of hype around it, is very real, and it is very broadly applicable across a wide range of business processes. And so as an organization, you do need to start growing into building AI solutions and integrating it into all sorts of parts of your business. And this is going to be challenging, and it's going to be but you need to do it, or else your business will start to lag your competitors. I'll put some links to some relevant videos below. One of the key understandings here is understanding the new capabilities that did not exist just a couple of years ago. This is an important frame to look at for opportunities. What I see most people talking about are basically chat, and what I would call a subcategory of compression would be summarization. This seems to be the most common use case that people think of LLMs, which is the new modern AI technology, large language models. But there's so much more that AI can do. I've got a quick list here that is not exhaustive, but there's a lot that can still be done that I don't see people really talking about, or at least especially from a high-level leadership standpoint. They're just thinking about things from a chatbot standpoint, which ends up getting you Microsoft Copilot, which leaves the vast majority of the solution space, the opportunity on the table. Copilot does not give you what you need, I promise. So a lot of this stuff falls under the category of what I would call data processing. The ability to process more data has gone up orders of magnitude with AI. I used to process large amounts of data with code many years ago before large language models, and seeing what large language models can do and doing a lot of R&D on that, the ability to process data, it makes me very excited because it's a very unique tool that enables things that just couldn't be done before. Just for example, summarization, which is a form of data compression, there was no algorithm for it before. Literally, you could not do it with code, right? So you would need a human to do it. And so that is actually incredibly useful. But there's a wide range of other things that don't get talked about that are really useful. Data extraction, data expansion, merging, enrichment, vector databases. This is kind of like a foundational piece of large language models. It's not actually run on large language models, but it does enable retrieval augmented generation and advanced versions of that. And data analysis, path selection, categorization, large language model checking. Watch the LLM New Capabilities to get a little bit deeper on these. But my point here is that what you want to do when you're trying to find opportunities, or when you're trying to see, well, how can AI really help me, really pick apart the capabilities and dig deeper, and pick even these apart. Find a category and go even deeper and pick it apart into subcategories or subcategories, and then use that as a lens to scan what you have to look for opportunities. That's going to be very valuable. That's going to take away a lot of the hand wavy stuff that I see with AI, where it's going to do everything for you. Okay. So part of the other challenge with this, if you've done that above, it actually makes this next step make a lot more sense. But the problem is a lot of people have not been practical about it, and they just see it in this very hand wavy way, and so their way of trying to solution for AI, create AI powered solutions, is backwards or just wrong, in my opinion. Sort of like this guy who drove his truck directly into the lake. And you can see this poor solution mindset. It's super pervasive, and you can see it with the way that people talk about solutions. And once you see this and hear this, it cannot be unheard or unseen. But you can tell that somebody doesn't have real-world experience solving real-world problems with large language models when they talk about the model is the solution and the solution is the model. This happens all the time. They're talking about solving a problem with a model. oh yeah, when we're going to build a model and it's going to solve the problem. We're going to train a model and it's going to solve the problem. This is going to leave 99% of the solution space on the table, plus 99% plus. There are some problems you just will not be able to solve this way. Now, OpenAI and the big model companies want you to think that this can be done. They want you to think even that, oh, don't worry about it. There's a lot of stuff that we're just going to do later. I call BS on that, and I'll dig into that in a second. But that just is not anytime soon, if ever, will they be able to solve your key problems with just their model. There's too many pieces to missing. Especially, let's limit it to the current transformer architecture that came out in 2017, which has not changed much, other than adding a bunch of data. The actual code itself has barely changed, and it hasn't been upgraded. And they're trying to build the solutions into the transform model or connect it like inside the box, and that is incredibly inefficient. And it makes some solutions, in my mind, not possible or not feasible. A lot of solutions, in fact. And so this is a very LLM-centric viewpoint. This is very common in the tech space in Silicon Valley, and I understand there's a lot of work I'm happy that there is a good bit of work that needs to be done on that, but it is backwards. And in fact, in order to do good solutions, you need to think about the LLMs as tools and not as the solution, especially as LLMs become commoditized. So I'll talk about that at the same time as April 2023. What happened then? GPT-4 came out. So it's now September 2024. Let's say about a year and a half later. The models have not improved much since then. Let me say that again. In 18 months, the large language models are not that much better than they were in April 2023. The frontier model today is probably Claude 3.5 overall. It's not the best at all the things. It is not that much better than what GPT-4 was in April 2023. Really think about that. There's a lot of people saying, oh, it's changing so fast. It's going to keep going on an export. No, it's already plateaued. Now, the other end of this is that it does do a really good job of solving certain problems. Like there's certain problems it does solve, or you can use it to solve. And if you can use it to solve, then what does GPT-5 do for you? So if, let's say you got 10 problems to solve and 7 of them you figured out how to solve with GPT-4 or Claude. What good does GPT-5 do for you? Why do you even need it? So really think about this. And as GPT-5 comes out, the cost and the speed of GPT-4 increases, or the cost decreases and typically the speed increases. So the idea that GPT-5 or GPT-7 or GPT-20 is going to solve all the problems, or that whatever you're doing now, they're going to solve in a couple of years. To me, there is no basis for that. In fact, all of the data points to the opposite. The limitations of LLMs, the flattening out of the improvements, and the commoditization of LLMs to where there are a lot of use cases as we get further and further are going to get solved with that level of model that it's capable of. I'm not saying it's going to solve all the use cases. I'm saying what it does solve, you don't need the next model for oftentimes if you do it well. So so don't build your models with LLM centric. The right way to do it is to build your models software centric, and where the LLMs are tools. And in the LLM centric, you try to shove as much of the solution into an LLM. With software centric, you actually want to pull out as much of the solution. So you actually pick apart the problem, and you use classic code to solve it. Where you can use classic code, that's correct, because of the reliability of the LLMs. But also by picking it apart, you can get much more reliable results at that key steps with the LLMs versus trying to solve it all in one model. And which would dramatically reduces the reliability, which is why so many businesses are struggling to use LLMs, which is why Copilot doesn't really solve the problem for you, which is why the LLM-centric model as the solution does not work very well. You need to pick it apart and pull out as much of the solution as possible into classic code, and then the parts that you cannot solve with classic code, you use LLMs to solve, and that is going to be your good solution. All right, so there's several links to videos that I'll put below that will enable you to dig a little bit deeper on that. Okay, so now that you have a general idea of the capabilities and how to build a good solution, how to not build a bad solution, what are your opportunities? So first of all, again, you want to cross it with the new capabilities. Here's just a few different areas. There's a wide variety. Like basically all knowledge work can probably be impacted positively by LLMs. But a couple things that I really noticed was under leveraged or expensively leveraged data. So there's so much data out there that people could monetize, could use better that they just don't use because it's too expensive or because there's just so much data out there. On the other hand, on the flip side, there's a lot of data that's out there that is manually processed by expensive people that could be processed much faster with leveraging AI. It's not that you take the people out of the picture in most cases. You actually enhance them by 5xing, 10xing their productivity with the data, where the AI does certain steps and makes their work quite a bit less and faster. And so this does fall under kind of manual knowledge work. A lot of the manual knowledge work is where you would look for opportunities. You also have automation. That's a common thing, but not everything really falls under automation. There's a practicality lens here that I really want you to focus on, because part of the challenge with the bad solutions and with why a lot of organizations struggle with this is that there's a very fantasy-oriented, enjoyment-based, interesting-based mindset to using AI that does not make sense, or it's not going to really help your bottom line. Yeah, GPT-4 can write cool poems. Yes, it can write a story about a vampire story of Harry Potter. Who cares? We want it to solve real-world problems, and we want to do it. We want it to do it with reliability and consistency and effectiveness. And it's not about all the fancy stuff. And then you also want to really think about, how does this affect your business system as a whole? So it's not just the step, right before or right after the LLM. It's the whole thing, because sometimes there's actually could be negative effects on it, because you have to consider not only do you have to build the solution, now you have to maintain the solution. Well, what does that imply for your company? Not all AI solutions that can kind of do something are worth doing. That's fine. I'm not saying AI LLMs solve all your problems. So that's not the claim here. The claim is that there are a lot of problems and opportunities, a lot of problems for it to solve, and a lot of opportunities for growth with AI. So let's talk about execution. So first of all, I highly recommend you get a chief AI officer. If your company has even 100 people, at least get a fractional chief AI officer, which we offer, and that person will help you hire an AI engineer. I think you want at least a fractional chief AI officer and at least one AI engineer at your company, and ideally you would have one full-time chief AI officer and one full-time AI engineer to really help push this stuff forward. This will pay off in spades over the next 2 to 5 years. And then you want to target the lowest hanging fruit first. A lot of this has to do with kind of politics, because in order to implement and integrate some of these AI things, people who have been doing the same thing for 20 years oftentimes will need to do new work, and they will be resistant to that. And so you'll need a champion that will push through the organizational resistance to move forward into this new world and new paradigms that we're moving forward into. I would say that a part of this is also not trying to automate something 100%. The ability to automate things, it's just so pervasive. The ability to show improvements, that trying to shoot for 100%, it gets harder and harder as you get closer and closer to 100%, and which means it costs more and more, which means there does come a point where no matter how valid the solution is, to get those next few percentage points, it's easier to get 80% somewhere else than it is to get 2% improvement over here. So really think about that. There's just so much opportunity out there that you shouldn't be doing that in most cases. And then look at this like a long-term muscle building. This is not something that will work every single time right out of the gate. It will be very challenging. You'll fail at certain things, and that's okay. You have to do it, and if you want your organization to still be around 5 to 10 years from now. So give us a call. Click the link below. Get a free custom AI implementation roadmap. If you like this video, like it. If you have any thoughts or comments, please feel free to leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Happy to hear, even if you disagree with me. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.